Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Low Rollers Live, a Dungeons & Dragons live adventure. As always, I'm your host, Danny Allinson, playing the role of Bryn Wanders, and with me here tonight, Jonathan Edwards, playing Narroth, Prince of Thieves.
Who, me?
That's you. Danny Garcia is playing Astor, Mithlader.
Hello, at least I know I'm me.
Rachael Murphy is, of course, playing Isgrim Bearzon.
Heyo.
We have Alan Seymour as Lady Lilith von Kiln.
What's up?
Of course, Robert Seitz as Zarrius, servant of Obad-hai.
Good evening.
I love it. And last but not least, we have our wonderful dungeon master, Christopher Rondeau. And I think this is the first... Oh my god. I think this is the first intro that I haven't screwed up. So, Chris, why don't you take it away before I start?
Alrighty. So we are coming off our Lady Siliana chapter and heading into the chapter involving the Cascade Range. A chapter I haven't titled yet, which I will do next week. But as per any time we have a new chapter, this gives us a new time to do new character introductions. We've had some changes to characters, therefore aesthetics have changed, and therefore it is important to keep the players and myself in mind of what everyone sort of looks like, what has changed, what hasn't changed, and to cement that imagery as we move forward, so our own headcanon doesn't change what players have in mind. So let's start off with Narroth. Why don't you tell me a little bit about Narroth's headspace as well as his character description as he begins to look at the ominous Cascade Range.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with a physical description first. Narroth is a dragon or half dragon, which means he looks like pretty much a normal human being, although he is covered in red scales. He has a tail. All right, he's not that much like a regular human being. He is approximately 6'7". He's pretty tall with yellow eyes, and you can see that he is equipped with a red dagger, and that's pretty much the only expensive thing of note, other than a staff that he keeps in his bag and brings out from time to time. Now, Narroth, his headspace at this point going forward is actually that of exploring new possibilities. Narroth has changed a little bit by being in the Feywild, or this introduction to the Feywild, and he has learned to view his power, his elemental powers, more as a whole. So he is exploring new things, trying new things out, and is actually more confident because he now feels a greater degree of control over his powers.
Let's go to Astor Mithlader.
Alright, I will follow the same format as John. So, Astor is a male half-elf of average height, probably about 5'8". He has a twin body, taut, flexible muscles because he is a musician and is also employs acrobatics in his routines. He has a light tan skin color with shoulder-length brown hair, tied back into a ponytail, and he does have green eyes. One thing about his eyes that actually stands out is he has a burn wound that's around his left eye, which was unintentionally caused by a powerful fireball that was cast by Moradin way back like 2 years ago in terms of game time. He does wear half plate armor over his traveler garb, which are pretty simple. It's just a one-piece plate that covers his torso and is black, has dark red ornamentation and elvish around the edges of the plate. And he has a black tunic that he wears that goes straight down to his knees with a light white shirt underneath as well. He has a lute on his back, which is of elven design. The soundboard is made with, well, you know what? What he has on the soundboard is the crest of the Mithlader family, which is a fox kind of just playing around. And he used to have a sword, but now you just see Dab, who looks
Not
like
here.
Okay, who is not there, I guess. He also tends to carry himself pretty confidently as he tries to kind of help lead his companions to the goal that they currently have. Now, as far as his headspace goes, from having been in the Pwrlvl temple and actually interacting with his mother pretty recently, and then learning more about his Pwrlvl heritage through some instruction from Dab. So now Astor is currently just getting used to this new identity, new part of him that he discovered, while currently going towards the Cascade Ranges to help both Iskrim and hopefully bring back Yvette.
Zarrius, servant of Obad-hai.
Hello. And so I'm going to do the same sort of thing. Zarrius, servant of Obad-hai, is a 3'2" tall gnome tiefling. It's really short compared to everyone else. It's just really weird. So Zarrius has two little horns on his head, dark red skin in color. He's got a hood that he wears from his tunic that goes over those horns. He's got a scar on his left side of his face that goes down from his eye to the side of his mouth. Zarrius has a pretty good build for a gnome, especially in that he's rather fit. He also has a tail that has a couple little nicks out of it from a previous player that we had in our campaign. And he's got a little nub on his tail from a little burn that he had that scarred the end of his tail. Zarrius' staff is his main weapon. It's very elaborate in terms of the details of it. There's a picture of Obad-hai on his staff that is part of it, and the bottom of the branch has the bottom of the staff has almost root-looking things at the bottom of it. The top of the staff almost looks like the top of a spear almost, but it's wooden, obviously, so Zarrius uses it to various effects. And on occasion, you'll see it glow a bluish color when things start to happen. Zarrius also has a whip on his right side of his hips, and overall dark brown pants, and usually barefoot, no armor for him. So in terms of Zarrius' headspace, he's thinking a lot about the people that Lady Sylliana had showed to him, along with Bryn, and how they were plain touched and how they're being affected by the Wounded King and just their overall persona. It's rather disturbing for him, and he's kind of running through his head over and over like this possible situations that could happen for either him and his companions or for those people in the future. He is also thinking about the fact that this is not necessarily something that was on our list of things to do, but since Iskrim has joined us, he is very supportive of his companions, and he wants to support them, even though he does want to get back to the continent of Excelsior sooner rather than later. So, Zarrius, servant of Obad-hai.
Lilith, Lady Von Kiln.
Okay. Well, we'll follow in the same footsteps here. So, Lady Lilith is, well, she was human until very recently. So she has more of a blue tinge to her skin now. Her her hair is still it's sort of like a dark blonde. She wears breastplate armor with blue sort of long robes underneath. The breastplate covers her chest. She has a shoulder pauldron, bracers, and leg guards. She carries a shield on her back that is emblazoned with the big symbol of an eye. On her belt, she wears it's a small sort of flanged rod, sort of resembling a mace, and it's got 6 different colored buttons on it. Adorned around her neck is the holy symbol of her god Arathis. And she's about 5'8". Looks to be about 30 years old. She has dark blue eyes, and her headspace. She just recently died. And when she was brought back by the Leviathan, and he granted his blessing upon her, making her fate touched. And she's contemplating what this is going to mean in the long run, and she wants to finish what she started, and she's happy that she's back, but she also doesn't know what's going to be the side effects of how she came back. But otherwise she's very content in her standing with the party. She there was some issues in the past, and it has finally come I think full circle again, that the party trusts her again, and she's happy about that, but she's still leery of what this blessing of the Leviathan is going to mean in the long run.
Bryn wanders.
Alrighty. Bryn Wanders is a 5'4" tiefling who seems to be in her late teens or early 20s. About 125 pounds with a runner's build, coral color skin and horns, purple eyes, and short, poorly cut white hair. She has 2 earrings on her right ear. Further up on the ear, they appear to be made of bones, blue and white. Around her neck is a necklace that holds a simple brass ring on it. On her back, she carries a lever-action rifle, and a 6-shooter is in a holster on her left-hand side. She wears a blue halter top with leather armor covering her torso and arms, and a jacket sits over her shoulders, made of some sort of black fur that shimmers when you look at it. Last but not least is her belt, which has a dagger slung on it of green and gold, which appears to be in a bad shape. Most of the time she's cheery and bright, walking with a skip in her step. However, recently she seems to be a little more serious, taking things with less of a light-hearted air, I guess, but she still has her moments of levity and fun-loving, even in this more serious state she's in.
And Iskrim, I think it's very important that we end with you, as it'll provide some perspective about returning home and sort of set up this next chapter. Why don't you give me a description, though?
All right. So Iskrim is an ice dwarf, and that means that he is well suited to the cold tundras of the Cascade Ranges. His skin is an alabaster pale. His hair is full, and he has a braided beard, and they are both a very slate blue. His clothes and armor are basically various furs and pelts, kind of strung together, almost ragtag, and they range from a sandy brown color to a light gray, which helps him blend in with the surroundings of his homeland. He carries a climbing pick that also doubles as his weapon, and he also carries a shield with horns on it that doubles as a roof for a shelter or a windbreak when he needs it. Coming back to the Cascade Ranges, however, has been bittersweet. It's the land of Isgrim's birth, but it is also the land where his people cast him out when they gave in to the temptations of the wounded king. The further in the party goes, the more withdrawn Isgrim is becoming. He's also very loath to rage here. He doesn't want to chance losing himself to the will of another, and as a result, he's instead kind of reaching out more towards nature for power, rather than reaching inside himself to power himself by an inner anger. He initially believed that freeing his people from Trident Maelstrom's influence would free them, like actually bring them back to normal. But upon meeting the party and finding out more information, Isgrim has started to wonder if freeing his people from Trident will be enough, or if he'll have to journey alone with the party and defeat the wounded king with them without the help of his people.
Perfect. And this sets us up to be able to head into the Cascade Range. We have a few options. I've asked the party to discuss a little bit, but let's talk about just general preparing for this thing. So tell me what's going on now as far as going up into the mountain. How are you preparing?
Well, I'm sure we need warm clothing. And are we going to walk the whole way? We probably need to keep our mounts or get mounts of sturdier stock.
Through all of that, Isgrim can definitely be advising everybody as to what's kind of the best thing. For instance, if you were getting a furred hood, you'd want something with, say, wolverine fur because it's hollow, so it doesn't actually frost, and just different things like that. So he can help you make the best choices on items to get and mounts to get as we gear up.
So where are we getting items?
Where are we currently?
We are in. We are still technically in the Fey Court, or specifically the area around the Fey Court. I haven't deemed you guys left yet, unless you want to be leaving now. But since we don't have a clear direction yet, we are still here. Basically, leaving.
I'm sure we need to go someplace where there's stores. So is there villages or a city before we get to the Cascade Range?
The closest one was raided by the Astors, which you were there for. But nothing else would be on the way. And if the Astors raided Daneth, then you can determine that they probably raided a few places.
Would Lady Silyana have had the means to give us the items that we needed?
I mean, she has, she can skin animals, but one, that would take time, and two, it probably wouldn't be enough.
Well, then we might have to go out of our way and go back to, what was the name of the city that we got the mounts from?
That Vienna, that you're talking about
That's-
week.
Yeah,
Or,
that's
a
weeks,
week
isn't it?
walk.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if I remember correctly, Zarrius talked with Isgrim and said there was a place they were heading to before that to get stuff that could help, or was that just getting to Lady Silyana?
I'm not familiar with this conversation.
I'm not entirely familiar with this conversation either, not to my recollection.
That's okay. It was several episodes back, so I'm probably misremembering then.
Okay, what are we doing, folks?
That we find something when we're there? Is there anything between? I know you said that Daneth was ransacked, but is there anything else between Daneth and the Cascade Range?
Not unless there's something specifically in this forest. But you can talk to Lady Sion, and she'll tell you that the forest doesn't keep towns, so it's hard to say if anything's going to be on your way. It may not be.
So we have a sure thing of a week's delay if we go back to Vienna, but they'd have the stuff we
Well,
need.
2
Or we
weeks, because
can-
we have to go there for a week and then come
And then
back
come
for a
back.
week and then go to Cascade Range.
Right. So then the only other option really is to head up and hope for the best, which really sounds like a bad idea.
So Lady Silyana said that they would have to like hunt for the supplies and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you can get closer. You can see if you can find some like wolves that are native to the Cascade Range, some bears, elk, those sort of things. But anything that you would skin here probably doesn't have a thick enough fur to support you, unless you like find a grizzly bear. But you haven't seen the only animal technically you have seen is a unicorn, which.
Right.
You know, that's a whole different can of worms.
I mean, we can skin that. That'll probably keep us safe.
Nope.
Perhaps if there was a merchant around. Wink.
Yeah, but that's not the kind of. I mean, I mean, I have basic stuff, but I don't have stuff of that sort of nature. I mean, I have some stuff that's like basic to a general store, and then I have individual stuff that's specific for trading. I don't have a lot of stuff that's specific.
A coat is probably specific to a general store.
Right, but we come from a more mild climate. Am I gonna have stuff that is of a cold weather nature?
Yeah,
You
you have
do
to climb through the Hellfire Mountains, which has, snowy caps.
I'm going to say you do have a traveling cart, which implies that you go through a lot of things, so I would assume so.
Okay, so I'll look through my supplies. Do I have enough coats?
Okay,
in my...
so let's talk about you getting out your cart. What do you do for that?
Okay, so I pull this small figurine from my belt. I have a pouch, a special pouch that is on my belt, and it's a small ivory figurine. And when I set it on the ground, I say the command word, which is specific to the cart. I'm not going to give it away because I don't want just anybody to be able to summon it. And I say the command word, and it pops up. And it is a regular, merchant's cart that's magically enchanted to be shrinkable so that I can carry it around at all times. It's sort of a keepsake from a past life.
Why don't you guys give me a perception, please?
Everyone?
Sure.
I have eyes.
Would this be a sight-based thing?
This would be a sense-based thing.
Okay, so I don't have advantage.
Oh, dang.
Well, Astor spies with his little eye.
He's
Little
in a
nose.
half elf.
Yeah,
half elf I see.
Sorry, with his medium
I-
eyes.
Ironically, everyone but Lilith will begin to get the sense of this mildewy type smell coming from the carts.
Ew.
Hmm.
Did something die in there?
I don't think so.
No, she was dunked in water and everything's wet. And Iskrim is really upset because wet things are bad in the cold.
Oh,
Whoops.
I'm a jerk. I'm sorry.
Narroth face
Iskrim
turns.
grabs out everything that you guys would need, starts a fire, and starts to dry the crap.
oh man.
But yeah, there are like I mean they're not like extremely like not like climbing the top of the Himalayas or something like that, but it's good enough to suffice as long as you guys keep warm, are smart about it, keep moving, don't necessarily stop, those sort of behaviors.
Let's be fair. Astor was not thinking about the cart when he was carrying Lilith.
No, no one was.
Oh, man.
No one was thinking about the cart. Oh,
Iskrim advises everyone to like get some animal fat. I'm assuming you're gonna have some in the cart, any lard or anything for like cooking, and rub it on your shoes, and rub that into the leather, the metal, all of that to protect it from water and keep it a bit more waterproof as you guys are walking.
What about my feet?
You have hooves?
No, I have
They're-
claws.
You're gonna need to wrap that. Same with Narroth.
Oh man, I have to wear shoes.
I mean, no, Zarrius has the spider things on.
The what?
Don't we have some
Slippers.
spider boots?
There's slippers.
Yeah, those things.
I don't know if we gave him to
Somebody has some spider boots. We got boots lying around.
Like
Plus,
boots
also,
of,
we
like,
have a
walking
general
on
store.
water.
We literally have a general store.
mildewy general store, but a general store.
We just have to wait
Okay,
for everything to
so
dry out.
between me and Isgrim, we pull the stuff out of the cart, setting a couple little fires, putting stuff around the fires to dry it out. Was anything ruined?
A lot of well, for one, you probably can't sell anything for new at this point. So that's a thing. I believe you have spices from Morbid,
Oh.
so you're
Not
gonna
no
lose
more.
about half of that.
Oh man, that's a lot of gold.
Lilith, I think your store's a little ruined.
She says with her closing her nose as she tries to shuffle things out with one hand.
Oh man, I lost. How about the bag of tobacco?
Oh, I smoked that. Just kidding.
You probably lost the bag of tobacco as well.
Darn.
Good luck. Good thing you're heading to Badwater next. Hey.
And the units of herbs that I got from the Lady Ciliana.
We'll say that is okay.
Let's go down the whole checklist.
I know one thing that's all right. The units from the Clockwork City, because they're metal.
Man,
Rusted and broken.
dying here is almost as expensive as dying in Borderlands.
It's ironic. Okay, perfect. You guys get your stuff. Check your inventory. Cry a little. What now?
Narroth puts on shoes.
I would say gear up and head out to the ruins.
Agreed.
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 Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys are heading up the ruins, or up the south side of the Cascade Range to head up to the ruins. So this is sort of our headspace. Is this what the party agrees to do?
Correct.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we keeping the bird mounts?
Why not?
I was just asking. Chris, is the bird mount something that can be attached to my cart?
We could use Buttercup to attach to his cart. Her cart.
Maybe if you attach 4 mounts to it, you'd be okay, but this is not terribly important right now. More interested in how we're approaching the Cascade Range.
The birds will
Keeping
probably
mounts.
This was part of my plan. Was that we could sort of use my cart as sort of like a almost as like a deception of a merchant traveling with her entourage, and that's why we're headed up there on like to be a merchant as sort of like a cover of why we're going to the Cascade Range.
Well, if we're going to a place that the Wound King has infected with his, let's say, ideology, I think having a cart full of goods that people want would be the #1 spot to get killed.
Also, we're going to ruins. It's not like gonna find a huge population of people there, I'm assuming.
Not only that, but even if there are like bandits and stuff there, they're gonna attack us no matter what, even if we look like a cart.
Understood, but that would draw them like...
Plus, we can still do the merchant guys. We don't need a cart for it. You literally just need to produce the cart and then make it big, and then you're a merchant.
Okay.
Plus, the birds are probably not going to survive up here.
That's what I'm assuming.
We're going to have to let them loose before it gets too cold.
Very likely. We'll be able to see if they're reacting that way easily. They probably wouldn't want to go.
Reacting that way easily.
I've played Pokemon. Flying is weak to ice type.
You can just watch their legs. When their legs start to turn pale or blue, it's time to let them go.
It's time to let them go.
Or dinner.
No.
Iskrim has no problems with
no.
chicken dinner. I mean,
No.
Something lukewarm.
You know, we are going to need fresh meat.
Anyways,
I was joking.
Well, Iskrim can show you what to hunt and how to hunt in the tundra, what kinds of lichen are good for pulling and eating.
sounds good. Astor will try and help.
Okay, we're not in the tundra yet. We're still leaving the tundra. So now that we have approached, do you guys want to have some scenes before we head up into the thick of it?
Narroth would like to have a scene with Iskrim, if that's okay.
Go for it.
So as they are traveling along the road, Narroth is noticing that the roads are going to be getting a little bit colder, a little bit more frosted over. He's going to immediately recognize this effect because he is let's call him a warm-blooded creature, is definitely going to feel the effects of the cold a lot more profoundly. Narroth is going to kind of give a shiver and hold his robes close and look over to Iskrim and say, so exactly how cold does it get up here?
Much colder than this. Very cold. There are plenty of years that we do not see anything other than snow the entire year round.
I see. In this environment, how does anything survive?
You learn very quickly to look around to see what nature has provided, because even in a place that looks barren, if you are perceptive and diligent, you can find a way of surviving. And as Iskrim says that, he actually walks over to Narroth and readjusts his robes to prevent drafts from, say, going down his neck or going up his sleeves so that he stays warmer.
Narroth kind of looks down at this newfangled contraption and nods. Thank you, I suppose. The winds are getting awfully cold.
One has to be careful of not only the wind that can chill you, but also perspiring too much, because then your clothes get wet and then they freeze, and then you get cold, and then you die. Don't do that.
Narroth kind of looks around, almost panicked. Lovely, just lovely. That's gonna be it.
Are we actually in this now?
We can, for the sake of this scene, we can play with time a little bit.
I just want to make snow angels at some point.
Okay. Important. Anything else, Narroth?
I think at this point Narroth is okay.
Astor.
No, I think Astor's good for now.
Iskrim.
Not much specifically, just kind of pointing, showing people that would be a good windbreak, that would be a good shelter in case of a storm, and telling them how to watch the sky in case a storm were to come up, and just the different, the different plants that are edible, the different plants that are medicinal, basically just functioning as a guide in this area that he knows very well.
Bryn wanders.
I got a general thing, but if there's other specifics, do those first.
Lilith von Kiln.
I think, Lilith wants to have a conversation with Iskrim as well. Lilith will approach Iskrim and what kind of... I understand that the people up here are under the influence of the Wounded King, your people, but what kind of people can we expect? Are they very standoffish? Are they... What are we expecting as far as the people up here?
Well, before this Wounded King was influencing everyone, my people were very practical. So frivolity was not really something they indulged in. It's a very harsh land up here, so the people up here are very harsh. So very very stern in terms of countenance. That's that sort of general feel. Outsiders are not necessarily shunned, but just it's an oddity. Nobody ever really comes up here because of how harsh the landscape is.
So we're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
Okay. Is it primarily dwarves or is it all types?
Primarily dwarves. There are... So the Mole clan of dwarves have servants, one could say loosely, that are another race of creatures called kobolds. But beyond that, it is mostly dwarves.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stick out like sore thumbs. 2, primarily dwarves, and it's a harsh environment. Yeah, this isn't gonna be fun. What kind of person is this Trident Maelstrom?
The only way I can describe him is as someone who wanted a position of power and therefore declared himself a leader and won over people by saying, if you follow me, we can do things the easy way and live like the frivolous people live in easier climates. And normally that would not sway my people, but it did.
Because he has the power of the wounded king behind him.
Yes, I believe so.
So did he have sway over this dragon before you left, or is this a new development to you?
I'll answer this. You didn't even know there was a dragon in the Cascade Range.
The dragon itself is completely new, so I have no idea.
Oh. Well, maybe we'll get lucky and won't have to tangle with it.
Doubt it.
It is a big place, and somehow I doubt that we will not be that lucky.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your insight. I think this is going to be interesting, to say the least.
To add one more thing to that, my people don't necessarily believe in luck, they believe in preparation.
How about you?
Most definitely.
You believe in luck?
Sounds like it.
I believe in preparation, and I will take luck as it comes along.
That's a very practical attitude.
Why, yes it is.
Lilith smiles to herself, sort of adjusts her hood, and just sort of shivers a little bit. Because I'm assuming the cold is getting to her probably a little bit more than normal now.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Zarrius, would you like to have a scene?
Probably just a general one. I don't know if it's more to everyone than just one person. So I don't know if you want to
Go for it now.
Okay. So guys, I know we have agreed to help Iskrim on this. I feel that we need to get through this as soon as possible so that we can go on with our main objective, which is to head back to Excelsior and fix our problems.
And Lilith says that, well, this problem sort of is ours. Because by the sounds of it, this Trident Maelstrom wouldn't have the power he has if the Wounded King hadn't been released. So this is sort of our problem to deal with. And besides, we can't just let somebody like this guy just run roughshod over these people.
Agreed. And while I do understand your concern for being speedy about these kinds of things, if we're going to do something this important, we need to commit to it 100%. Sometimes trying to take shortcuts may very well be the undoing of our original intentions.
I'm not saying we should be necessarily taking shortcuts. I just feel that we need to go to where we need to go, get the job done, and get out.
Yes, I agree, but we still need to be wary of our sense of urgency. It may cloud our judgment, so... However, that's what we're all here for, to keep each other in check. Do the best we can as a group.
I feel also as though there is, if we just went back to Excelsior to try and take care of this business of getting rid of the Wounded King, these people wouldn't have a problem then. So,
Yes,
Right, but if
our captain is here.
there's the first mate that can, I feel like, do just as good of a job as she might be able to.
Lilith holds up her hand and says, "Don't worry about getting home. We don't need a ship anymore. I can take us directly to Tyria."
Huh?
As a result of me gaining a little bit more power, I now have the ability, if I prepare it, that I can bring us to my home temple in Tyria. I have the ability to. It's the only place I currently consider sanctuary to my god, so therefore it's the only place I can bring us. But I can bring us to Tyria almost instantaneously.
And any allies we might gain?
Well, that's the thing. I can bring us, but not any allies. I can bring me and 5 other people. Sort of a word of recall, if you want to call it that.
Well, that is good to know, but yeah, I mean, even if we get allies, they'll have their way of going back and we'll have ours.
But I do agree with Bryn. I sort of feel sort of responsible for the things that are going on right now inside the Cascade Range. And if we can free the Ice Dwarves from the influence of the Wounded King by getting rid of Trident, maybe we will have more allies to bring against the Wounded King later.
The other thing, too, is there's no guarantee that us going to Excelsior is really going to take care of the problem that we have here.
And the longer we take, the less later becomes. But anyways,
So, yeah, just so you know, Zarrius, we're not discrediting anything you're saying. It's still very reasonable. It's just we need to be wary with how we approach everything.
Oh, I'm well aware of that. We've taken some time, a lot of time here and there, making decisions.
speaking of approach, how exactly, or what exactly are we going to do at these ruins? What are we looking for?
So at this moment, Iskrim can give me a history check. Go ahead and take advantage on it.
Didn't even need it.
All right. Yeah. So, with the oh, I just dropped something. as we head and think about the ruins, and Eastman kind of recollects where he has been, gone on some of his trainings. He has perhaps even parlayed with some of this snow leopard clan that seems to reside in the ruins. The ruins, from a mythos perspective, is talking about a union between these spirit animals, or more like where the people have drawn their abilities from. So we have the polar bear, we have the raven, and we have the basically the mole rat, or the giant badger. These three deities sort of taken over the sky, the surface area, and the underground, and they lived in unity. And these ruins are some sort of like temple that was built ages ago. We were thinking like 5,000-6,000 years ago, and have in turn that kind of religion has been lost, while the clans sort of keep the namesake of these things. Many people don't actually believe that it's mythos at this point, is the point I'm trying to get at. So you go in there, if you try to figure out anything from the snow leopard, see if you can get information. That seems to be the primary intent of the party currently. And Iskrim can relay that to as much or as little as she character pleases.
Iskrim will relay all of that information. And you get the sense from Iskrim's relaying it that he does believe a bit more in this religion than many of his fellows would.
I wouldn't really take you for a religious person.
Well, it is not that I take time out of my day to go run to a temple and basically waste time and say, oh, great being of power. But I know that there are beings of power, and that they are present among us, and I respect them.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you seem to have a bit of a... Well, never mind.
Practical disposition?
I was going to say temper.
That is, that was a little bit inherited, but also comes from what I believe to be what you would call my spirit animal.
No, what is your spirit animal?
Well, what around these areas gets very angry and does a lot of damage?
Aside from you
Narroth.
and Narroth, I guess.
Narroth looks over. Hey.
So yeah, is it a bear?
Iskrim nods, and you see him finger the basically the bone kind of charm that actually kind of secures his braid at the bottom of his beard, and it looks like a polar bear.
Ah, that's some good craft work down there.
Thank you. It was my father's.
Well, whoever made it definitely did a great job.
I love polar bears. Oh.
As do I.
All right. Anything else as we begin to make this ascension up to much higher elevation?
Just kind of a player question. So we're looking for information in these ruins, and I'm just wondering, like, what have we been given to think that the information there could be useful?
If this you're looking for the people, the Snow Leopard clan, if they're taking care of the ruins, then perhaps they have some information going on with Trident Maelstrom, because they are small enough to potentially, very likely, just have been strictly ignored by Trident Millstone. But
Okay.
as the temple kind of represents the three clans, their sort of job description is to keep track of the namesakes to an extent. It's why many people don't actually respect them that much.
Okay.
All right, what's the plan? Heading up?
Yep.
After
Yeah.
we get rid of the birds, if that hasn't already happened, then yeah.
Cool. That's it's actually part of the narrative. Eventually, it does start getting cold. You feel yourself get 6,000 feet, 8,000 feet, and then you begin to ascend higher as these birds are not naturally acclimatized to the cold. They begin to shiver, and you can tell that they're beginning to fight you as you guys head up.
I think we should probably let these birds go now.
Yeah. And is yeah. I think we're going to be walking from here on out. Although we do have a cart and a horse who's used to this climate.
That the single mountain pony is not going to be able to pull the cart. It's the cart does have like multiple sets of like heavy armor. That's going to be rough, especially if
Okay.
the party will be in the cart.
Plus, I feel like we would probably stay a tad warmer if we are moving about a little bit more.
So
Yes.
you get the warmth of being together and protection from the wind. The other option would be to you have the physical aspect of it.
At this point, Astor is going to slide off the bird, give it an appreciative pat on the side, say thank you, and
Go!
just let it go.
It
Yep.
takes your geisha greens and then leaves. This is the wrong group for that joke. Perfect. Everyone
I got
leaving,
it.
taking their birds.
Yeah. We're releasing the birds.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you begin to ascend the mountain.
Continue, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this seems kind of challenging, wouldn't you say?
Hey! Perhaps a skills challenge. Ooh.
Cool. Here,
Two words,
how's this gonna
Chris.
work? What?
2 words, Chris. Fuck you.
Oh
said like-
no.
Don't say that
We
now.
haven't had a skills challenge
that
in
afterwards.
such a long time. So I've been thinking about skills challenges. I think I've been slowly kind of taking them away, and they haven't been very frequent in my DM style. So taking a moment to think about it, to speculate it, and I have decided that if skills challenges are to be interesting, they must be as scary or as intimidating as going into combat and having that, fear of losing to be much bigger than what it has been in the past. So we're going to go into the skills challenge, and here are the rules, and here's the objective. The objective is to make it up the mountain, stay warm. And this is going to represent just this ascension process as we reach basically the plateau where you can explore the ruins. As we begin to roll initiative, I just want to take a moment to remind you the rules of this skills challenge. First and foremost, you can't use the same skill twice in a row. So if you are planning to just use your athletics to run up the mountain, that's not going to be good enough. You have to think a little more creatively. Second part is that you can't use the same skill as the person right before you. So if Iskrim is going to use athletics, then Astor is going to be locked out of it. This is the time to take over the narrative. Be creative. I don't want to see this thing of I play my lutes to increase morale, so I will roll my best skill because of that. No, if you're going to do that, say I play a jaunty Russian jig and to ascend the spirits and to help increase the tempo of the walk, something to that extent. So let's keep that in mind as we go forward into our first skill challenge. And since when? Like the first chapter? It might be. It's been a while. You are not allowed to concentrate. And okay, so let's go on some additional rules. Endurance checks to basically to withstand this temperature. Just as a quick aside, Iskrim will have advantage on these checks because of his naturally higher body temperature. Lilith is going to have disadvantage on endurance checks because of her new natural lower body temperature. So we'll keep that in mind as we go forward. Go ahead and roll initiative for me, please.
But who goes first? Narroth or Bryn?
Cool.
Bryn. The answer is Bryn.
Yeah, the answer is Bryn. Also, a quick thing. I know things like Sentinel Shield and Feral Instinct does give you advantage on initiative rolls normally. For skills challenges, I am nixing that because there isn't it isn't like combat or anything like that. It's more of a generic thing. So you'll only roll once for those things. But it doesn't
Cool.
even matter for this one.
Cool beans. I reset his initiative then.
Take us to Astor. So you are transcending. It's beginning to get cold. As you begin to feel your fingers, they feel kind of tight, and like your muscles aren't moving with the normal flow. As you just feel yourself stiffen. The whole party begins to stiffen, for that matter. Astor, what do you do?
Let's see. So Astor. Okay, this is what he's going to do. Since he does feel his body starting to kind of stiffen up because of the cold weather, he is going to kind of challenge Bryn, I guess, to a light race from one point to another, kind of just to, well, one, actually bring up the, just kind of make it lively around the party and just get everybody moving a little bit. It's not going to be a very heavy running because if he sweats the cold, it's probably going to make him feel even worse. So it's kind of just to keep himself moving, make the atmosphere a bit more lively. So he's going to do an athletics check to have a race with Bryn.
I feel like Bryn should roll athletics.
Why?
Won't matter for anything, just to see who wins the race.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so close.
Yay. So close.
17 is a success.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you kind of run there. You can see Bryn's like making these snow angels in the thing, and like Iskrim is like yelling at Bryn, and you like throw the snowball, Bryn, and go, I'll race you, and then you guys like jolt up as you maybe get about 200 feet until you're out of the breath because of the natural increase in elevation, but you lighten the mood a little bit.
Astor definitely turns towards Bryn and says, "Ha! I won."
Serious.
So Zarrius sees this little sprint going on, and to try and keep up with the happenings as they go out, whatever, 200 feet, Zarrius like his shoes start to harden a little bit, in terms of like they stiffen along with the rest of his body, and what'll happen is that these shoes end up getting hard, and what he would like to do with that is he wants to go on the snowy part, and with his ring of water walking, he ends up like skating on the snow, essentially due to his lightweight and speedy nature. So I don't know what kind of role that would be. I'm guessing acrobatics, but he would like to try and skate to keep up with Bryn and Astor as he goes along the snow.
Acrobatics to like keep your balance is kind of what I'm getting.
Okay, sure.
Wow.
Yeah, that will work. I'm just trying to picture this like with kind of this like ice skate / sled thing that's developing on the bottom of your feet. You begin to at this moment as Astor goes, ha! Zarrius kind of like zooms forward past them, kind of with this like almost insulting wave. Take us to Bryn Wanders.
Okay, Bryn, with the assistance of probably Isgrim, is going to try to hunt like a wolf or something she can get a pelt from, and basically try to tan them if possible, but make a pelt basically to wash it, make a pelt to keep people even warmer than they already are, and to do that she will use survival.
That's exactly the role. Jesus.
I think I did it.
With some
Also food.
guidance from Isgrim, you basically go, I'm going hunting, and I'll go off in direction. At this elevation, you're probably seeing more like goats at this moment, but you can hunt 2 or 3 of them.
And food.
Correct.
I got plenty of salt. We can salt the meat.
It's cold enough. You probably don't even have to salt most of it.
Probably not.
Yeah, Narroth, I'll answer your question. So you can use your charisma instead of your wisdom when you're calling upon a trait of your element. So, like righteousness or benevolence or something like that. So it really depends on what you're doing.
Okay. So if I was trying to look for a path that maybe animals might have used in order to climb the mountain, where then the snow would probably be the thinnest out of anywhere else, would that be something that I could use charisma instead of wisdom?
What are you trying to roll first?
Perception.
This would be a survival roll first and foremost, and you are locked out of that.
Okay. In that case, resigned to, walking through this thick snow that feels like he's underwater, Narroth is going to try to push through the great snowbanks as he walks up the hill, kind of holding his robes close and shivering. Athletics?
Yeah, sure. $17 is success. So yeah, you basically clear out a way, able to push forward ever so slightly. This will take us to Lilith.
Okay. I don't know how well this is going to work, but I notice that the cold is affecting me and Narroth a little bit more than the others. And so I don't know what skill check this would be, but I kind of want to like cast protection from cold on us. I mean, it only lasts for an hour at a time, but you know, using it sporadically to sort of like give us moments where it's not so bad, where the cold isn't so bad. What kind of check would that be?
I would say this would be an endurance check.
Okay, so with casting the protection from energy, sort of, would it negate the disadvantage?
If you expend the spell slot, yes.
Okay, I'll expend one spell slot. All right.
Go ahead and roll it.
Let's see here.
Unfortunately, the cold is.
Here comes the Allen fucking spell check or skill challenge rolls.
Cool. Would you like to use an inspiration point?
How many successes do we need and how many failures?
You need 12 successes and 6 failures.
Leave it. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll leave the inspiration for something else.
Cool. This will take us to Iskrim.
Okay, now I'm looking to use perception to do this, so you tell me if that works. Iskrim is going to basically be keeping an eye on the party. He's going to show them how to walk so that they're not just like plowing through massive mounds of snow, but they can actually look and determine that an area on the path is going to have a lesser thickness of snow than the rest. He also wants to basically keep an eye on their clothes. If he sees something getting wet, he tells them to like switch it out with something else in Lilith's cart. And you know, showing them how to adjust their clothes so that it keeps the wind out and keeping them dry. So yeah, I'm wondering, would perception be good for that?
This seems more of a survival check. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I think I can do that, right? Nobody did that before me.
Nope.
Nope,
Cool.
you're good.
Excellent.
Oof. That is success. That is a success. So yeah, you're kind of like, shall I? Maybe this is the best way to describe. You're going more back to your chieftain roots. You are beginning to get back to this this concept of like, I need to take care of everyone. I need to make sure everyone's doing everything correctly. You know, going back to that orderly kind of mindset that you remember when you became chieftain after your father gave that position to you.
Sounds good.
This will take us to Astor. You were locked out of survival and athletics. Do something cool.
All right. Let's see. So we've been climbing for a while, and I'm sure on occasion we will take breaks to just make sure we don't overexert ourselves. I'm fairly certain Iskrim would be the one best keeping up with that, keeping an eye out for that. So what Astor's going to do is, during those times that they are taking a break, he is going to actually keep his his fingers a little active, and he will pull out his lute and he will be playing music to kind of just keep stimulating everyone's senses, particularly the auditory type in this case. And the intent behind his music is so that it can kind of just keep everyone's spirits up and, just keep everybody active. And he just wants to keep the mood as positive as he possibly can, mainly because they are in a situation where they need to be as sharp and focused as they possibly can be. So this would be hopefully a performance roll.
Go ahead and roll it.
Okay, thanks.
$15 will not succeed.
Dang it.
Would you like to spend an inspiration point if you have one?
I think I will actually.
Okay, really?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's a lot better. So you play this this ditty. You find that your hand is kind of stiff, so you're playing something that probably doesn't have the same technical veracity that you would normally be able to do. So you kind of begin to play something, realize you did not pass your skill check, and then begin to play something similar, but still uplifting, and is able to increase morale. Zarrius, you are locked out of acrobatics and performance.
All right. So as we take these breaks, I see Astor playing his lute, and everyone trying to like huddle up and stay warm. And as he is doing this, he remembers that he's got something that might help them. And what ends up happening is that he's got this, all of a sudden his staff turns his normal bluish, and he would like to cast a mode of the sun, if possible, or I don't know if you want to spend key on that, or what you want me to roll, or whatever.
So you can expend key on it. What are you trying to do with the motes of the sun?
So what I'm trying to do is create this sphere, this 5-foot sphere that would and keep it far enough away so it doesn't necessarily like hurt us, but like keeps us slightly warm, unless we need to get closer, in which I will definitely get closer since it's fire, and fire is good in the cold, for me at least. But just as kind of like a heat source for his companions.
Yeah. Sounds like a survival check to me.
Okay, it's fine.
Unless you can think of something else. That
I was thinking Arcana, as he's trying to cast some sort of spell.
You described it as the spell cast successfully, and you're trying to keep warm.
Okay.
So
okay, that's fair.
If you want to do Arcana, you could be the casting of the spell.
It doesn't matter. Either would work for me. So I think I'd stay with my original plan and to keep us warm, and that would be survival. So I'm going to roll survival.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll work.
So I step as close to the flames without actually, well, just to keep myself warm and encourage everyone to gather around.
Bryn wanders. You're locked out of survival and survival.
Oh no. one night, as we continue up the mountain, Bryn is going to want to try to get a bearing on how close they are to the ruins, and to do so she's going to scale a nearby bluff or cliff or something along those lines to see if she can get a general sense of where they are in relation to the ruins. And to do this climb, she will use acrobatics.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Ooh. Should raise the DC.
No, I'm just using the good ones. I
Oh,
only
yeah,
have two
yeah.
good
So
ones.
you're able to kind of scale this mountain to an extent. You cannot really look through the mountain range at this point. You can't see the ruins, but as you kind of look up, you can look out towards the Bohemian forest, and you can look out and you can see perhaps the lake from this thing. And as you look up, you see this flash of lightning as shivers begin to go down your spine.
Oh, good.
This will take us to Narroth. You're locked out of acrobatics and athletics.
Perfect. At this point, Narroth is going to try to scout the way ahead, see where we're heading, and if we need to change direction in order to get to where we need to go faster. He's going to use a fly spell and look around, but he's going to be very careful and try not to attract the attention of anything because he's a giant red thing in the sky.
This is risky. Yeah, you can do it, but I might raise the DC on you, which I am deciding right now.
Okay, well, in that case, I have something different.
Oh, okay. If you have a different idea.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm assuming Astor is doing one of his little merry tunes. Narroth is going to turn his ring, and his flame step spell is going to be activated. Now, whenever this happens, usually in Battlefield, it leaves a charred imprint on the ground. But in this case, because there's so much snow, it tends to leave footprints behind. Now, Narroth thinks it's going to be a little bit easier for the rest to follow if they could literally follow in his footsteps. So he's going to actually go ahead and he's going to make a game of it and kind of dance to the music that Astor is playing.
He's dancing?
Yep, performance.
Performance. I'll allow it for this one. That's pretty funny. 17. So Astor's playing Miss Ditty, and Narroth is like leaping through the air, like how I picture a ballerina. I don't know if any of you guys have seen a ballet, but there's this leap that Romeo does in Romeo and Juliet, and he kind of like soars through the thing with his like rapier in hand. That's neither here nor there. But that's how I'm picturing it in my head, Kevin. Sound good?
I mean, it's your game.
Yeah.
I imagine it's had more manly, but I mean, I can be wrong.
There's nothing more manly than the ballet. Lilith, you're knocked out of performance and endurance.
Okay, so Lilith, being the sort of semi physician that she is, remembers that the Lady Ciliana and that whole thing, she brings out, when they stop, she builds a small cook fire, and she brings out some of the herbs that she acquired, and she starts making tea, enough to like put in a small container for everybody, and so that they sort of have, some hot tea every once in a while, and uses, some of the herbs to sort of bolster everybody's sort of physical endurance as they as they go through this harsh climb, and she wants to use medicine.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it. When you guys stop to make camp, or maybe for lunch break, Lilith goes into her car, pull out a like small handbag of herbal medicine, and she begins to brew it, and it kind of smells pretty atrocious, but it doesn't taste that bad, and you're able to feel the resist the effects of this mountain. This will give you advantage on endurance checks.
Wait, did Alan just pass a skills check?
I did.
Wow.
Wow.
First time for everything, right?
Iskrim, you're locked out of medicine and survival.
Excellent. That advantage on endurance came just at the right time. So, Iskrim, in one of his rare moments of whimsy, sees Narroth kind of dancing with steps. So he tries his best to match his footsteps to them. But it's kind of a bit of a stretch because his legs are a bit shorter than Narroth's. So he kind of has to leap into each step. So what the party sees is this dancing half-dragon with the dwarf literally following behind him, repeating the same pattern. What Iskrim lacks in grace, he hopefully makes up for in proficiency, and I would like this to be an endurance check because it's going to take a lot from him to leap from place to place.
Yeah, that's fine. Jesus. That will do it.
Fair-haired leaping gnome. I mean dwarf.
Bearded gnome.
It's a dance.
Not
Dance
gonna say
revolution.
So we get this mental imagery of Astor strumming this melody and Narroth leaping with flames at his feet, with Iskrim following them, and then eventually they start dancing in tandem, like matching each other's steps, doing pirouettes together, and it's just this imagery of this fairly tall half dragon and this fairly short dwarven figure, stocky dwarven figure, dancing in tandem together as they traverse this path, and you wonder if the cold's getting to everyone. But this will take us to Astor. You're locked out of endurance and performance.
I think it's the tea, man. Those herbs were musty.
Okay, so what Astor is going to do at this point is he's just going to, try and keep his body moving. So after witnessing both Narroth and Iskrim doing something rather amusing and fun, actually, he's going to take a little break in the form of, well, actually, it's probably not really a break with what he's going to do, but essentially this is going to be an acrobatics check, but he is going to, well, it could be athletics too, I suppose. He's going to try and just climb up a tree to see if he can spot where the mountain kind of tops, and see if we can finally look at the ruins off in the distance.
Perhaps. Go ahead and roll it.
Which one?
Perception?
Oh, I was thinking acrobatics or athletics, but I'll do that then. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey.
Perception will do it, even with SDC. So you can't really see the ruins out in the distance, but you can kind of see the plateau that was described. And as we finish this skills challenge, which you guys have surprisingly done very, very well, somehow I moved my number.
Wow, we got all the way to 1,211.
It's not working. Okay. A storm begins to settle in, and it becomes very. The wind becomes to get very, very heavy, and Iskrim will recognize that this is a moment to find cover, and we will fade to black here.
All right, we are going on break for just a few minutes, and we'll be right back soon.
Cool. Congratulations, you. Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to more Low Rollers Live. We ended after a skills challenge, and a storm has started. So, Chris, why don't you tell us what exactly is going on here?
Well, sometimes you get the flu, and you lose track of all your sense of thoughts. Yes. So you guys begin to head up to the mountain, and Iskrim will recognize that ice storms are fairly common. You can get multiple ice storms within a day, but what it does, it requires you to get some shelter. You guys can probably Iskrim can probably survive being out at an ice storm. Unfortunately, your less sturdier counterparts probably cannot venture it. So the goal is to find a cave or find an opening, start a fire, hunch down for a couple of hours until this ice storm passes. It's just the nature of the climate that, unfortunately, you have people in your party, Iskrim, that is just not accustomed to it. So we're just on the start of it. So we have maybe 2 or 3 minutes before we have to worry. What's the approach?
What does the terrain look like around us?
So we are beginning to hit a plateau. So you know that the mountains will open up for large places of land. Maybe I am losing for maybe like a mile or so. You can walk pretty flat, normally on ice or on snow or something to that extent. So reaching this plateau, you think you are in the same area of the ruins of Frenza, but you can't necessarily see it because of the ice storm coming in.
Is the storm coming from the direction we're headed or from behind us?
From the direction you're headed.
Or one of the sides. Okay.
So your best bet would be to kind of trail the side of this plateau looking for an enclave if possible, or you can just try to hunker down somewhere. Maybe the party has spells or something that they could create a magic hut or something.
Now, does this look familiar to me backstory-wise? If I were to trail this, the edge of the plateau off to the right, would I...
Yeah, so I sent you a message about this. You do know that a place you stayed in from your travels is basically to the right.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw the message, so I just wanted to make sure that we could do that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and direct everybody to the place of shelter that I stayed in once before.
Cool. So you're going to want to be in this cave for a few hours. They don't last very long. It's just enough to kind of turn the world upside down per se. Just change things. Keeps everyone on their toes. It's part of the harsh climate that Iskrim had to grow up with. But you find yourself in a cave.
I do instruct everyone as we're going along to go ahead and pick up as much dead wood as they can find, because the best thing to do in the cave will be to start a fire, warm up, dry off everything while we're waiting for the storm to peter out.
Well, we don't necessarily need that dry of wood. We have people that can make magical fires, so.
Narroth looks around. Who? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Astor face palms and gathers wood.
Narroth gathers wood.
Same.
Through Iskrim's instructions, you head out into this cave and kind of get barred, and Iskrim will probably help instruct people to create this barricade to try to prevent a lot of the wind from coming in, to save you some of that stuff. But you enter a fairly dark cave.
How big is the opening?
0
like,
feet.
There is no opening.
20 feet.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cart and sort of like summon it in that area, and then use tenting that I have to sort of create like a, enough to let the smoke continue to go out, but sort of block the windage as best as I can. Probably with either Isgrim or Bryn's help. There's people that are good at surviving in the wild.
Sure.
Do you guys see my map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
At some point, Narroth is going to walk over to Lilith, wherever she may be, and ask, Lilith, do you have a pot?
I do have a pot. I have a couple of pots.
Is it dank?
Well, I don't have that kind of pot. Although I might. No. I do have a pot.
I'm thinking perhaps tomorrow we should definitely boil some water and fill our water skins with warm water rather than temperate water. That way we can stay warmer a little bit longer.
Well, I also do have some coffee. We can make some coffee and use coffee.
Narroth kind of looks side to side. Let's do water.
Bryn wants coffee.
Well, for those that want water, or I have some tea, we can have tea or we can have coffee.
I know last time you gave us medicine tea, it made us act pretty weird. I remember something about dancing.
That was pretty funny.
I even remember Iskrim doing it.
Yeah, you guys almost made me mess up.
I think Bryn is rubbing off on all of us.
I'll just take water, thanks.
Same.
I would not recommend coffee as it has a tendency to you'll need to take in more water just to counteract the coffee.
There's snow
And-
everywhere.
Yes, but that is not something that you want to have to do throughout the day. Oddly enough, dehydration is a very large problem.
And as a side benefit, we could put the water skins to our, to our chests when we're cold, so that we can not be as cold.
Iskrim nods. That's really smart. One of the things that he does, though, now that they're in this cave, is he does walk around and kind of inspect all of the corners just to make sure that there's nothing in there lurking.
Like, you're good in that sense, but this cave does kind of bring back some memories for you.
Oh,
Just kind of you're traveling, acting as this, as far as the elements of having to go out into the wild and surviving, those memories kind of come back.
okay.
Take that as you will.
I think because we have this cave and we can set it up, maybe this is a good point to, sort of get some sleep, and be able to, what time of day is it, Chris?
It's fairly early. If you want to get 8 hours of sleep, you can get your.
How long have we been traveling for without a rest, without sleeping?
I'm assuming you guys slept.
There we go.
On and
Damn day.
off over the course of the trip. You guys have been doing your normal travel route.
How long have we been on the road?
About 4 days. What's the plan?
I mean, I'm fine with doing a rest.
Yes, a rest would definitely be ideal. Take watch, of course.
Sounds good.
Rest it is.
Okay.
I make sure when we set up the cart with the tenting that we leave murder holes for Bryn.
All right.
What?
You know, like murder holes. You know, you can stick your gun out and
Oh.
look.
Anyway, we're going to ignore that comment and take watch. He's taking watch.
I'll take first watch.
Narroth is going to be up for last watch, so he can actually boil the water for our water skins.
Astor will go second. Why not?
Iskrim will take third.
I'll take fourth.
I'm sure I'm probably doing a lot of the cooking, just because I like my character likes to cook, likes to do that sort of thing. So she's gonna probably cook like a goat stew with some of the goat that they found. Trying to make a nice warm hearty meal. That way, you know, it sort of renews the vigor that we have.
Sounds good. Are you gonna take a watch, Lilith?
No, I don't. I think, you know, if we have 5 people taking a watch, I'll do all the cooking.
You should probably take watch while I'm there. That way we can do the cooking and the boiling at the same time and have 2 eyes out because we'll both be distracted.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Cool. So first watch, have a quick meal. First watch goes down. You guys set a fire. The winds get pretty heavy, and you just feel everything shaking. Zarrius, it's amazing that people are actually able to even get any rest through this. But your rest will go by unheeded.
Okay.
Second watch, I believe, was Astor.
Yes.
So during your watch, these winds get so heavy, and you know you feel these like ice shards kind of just pecking at this cart as you notice it begins to pull out towards the opening, no longer seemingly wedged inside this cave.
Oh, Astor is actually going to hurry over to Iskrim, shake him awake.
The cart's now about 5 feet outside the cave.
And then after he wakes up Iskrim, he says, "We need to get that cart," and he's going to rush right over and see if we can keep it from moving anymore.
Okay, it's about 8-9 feet outside the cave.
Iskrim grabs a piece of dead wood and uses it as a wedge underneath the wheels of the cart.
It doesn't appear that the wheels are what's causing it to move. It appears just that the natural wind force is just kind of pushing it, because you guys put it in horizontally, so it's not actually using its wheels as the main form of traction. But I like it. That was clever. I guess I could take athletics checks. Why don't one of you guys give the help action to and okay.
Oh. But do I still need to roll?
Handedly.
You still need me to roll?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no way. Literally the lowest roll I could do without failing.
Cool. So Iskrim is able to basically put his weight into the cart to stop it from going, but the cart is fairly heavy. I don't think with Astor's roll, you guys would be able to pull it back in at this point.
So Iskrim whistles the, you know how people can like whistle without putting their hands in their mouth, but it's super loud. And he does it to get Lilith's attention.
She looks up from her stool. Yeah.
Shrink your cart. It's going to fly away.
Oh. She puts her spoon down. She runs over. She says the command word to shrink it down.
Go ahead and give me a dex check, Lilith.
I have my hand on the cart when I shrink it down.
Give me a dex check, please. I'll take a sleight of hand if that's any higher.
No, it's the same.
Yeah, you come out into the storm, and and this sense of coldness, and with your lower body temperature, it begins to overwhelm you. And I'm physically shaking, and no one can actually see it, so that was pointless. But as you begin to reach out for your cart to shrink it, your hand stiffens. And the cart seems to leave your grasp. It plumps to the floor at this moment, but it begins to be overwhelmed by snow.
Astor's going to try and pick it up as soon as he can when he sees it drop.
You're really gonna do this to me, Chris?
Yeah, you gotta put your cart there. It makes sense.
So does he successfully pick up the cart?
No. Why don't you give me a perception check?
Wow.
Yeah, so you can go shifting through the snow, but you find the cart, but it seems to have taken some structural damage.
Oof. All right, well, Astor's going to put the cart in one of his pockets and help Lilith go back inside of the cave, since it seems like she's being affected by the cold weather.
Yeah, let's take an endurance check from Lilith. Yeah,
Not bad.
you're cold, but still functional.
At this point, is everybody awake in the cave, or are some people still asleep?
What's all the racket about?
Well, Lilith's cart was almost blown away into the winds, so to speak.
Oh.
Well,
We would have been fine if somebody would have summoned their magical hut.
and you wait this long to tell me? I guess you weren't concerned. Well, let's go ahead and do this. Astor's going to just snap his fingers, and it's going to be a door that appears seemingly in the middle of the cave. And he'll just tell whoever's awake, why don't you guys go in there? We'll probably be safe from the elements if we go inside.
Put up the spell description, please.
Hold on. You get it. Here you go.
Okay, 10-foot radius immobile dome of force springs up to existence above and around you. Remain stationary for the durations. Yada yada yada. 9 creatures. Yada yada yada. All the creatures are barred. Our past spells and other magical effects can extend from the dome. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside. Till the spell ends, you can either command the interior to become blah blah blah. The dome is opaque from the outside. All right, good to know. You make a opaque huts.
Yes, sir. He's going to wake up whoever's still asleep and guide them towards the door inside of the hut. It'll be less cold. Astor helps Zarrius make it in. Zarrius probably
This is
just collapses
probably-
on the bed.
This is probably the warmest we've been in days. I'm like, yeah.
Oh God! All right, so you make it. Everyone gets in. Everyone's comfortable. We're going to ignore Zarrius's like semi moans in the middle of the night, and
Don't want to know what he's dreaming about.
so if you're within the hut, third, fourth, and fifth watch will go through without too much of a hitch. And you guys wake up, and it's about dusk at this point as you guys begin to pack up and deal with the stuff.
So we deal with the
So-
stuff.
I ask Astor for my cart. How bad is it?
Oh,
Is it just like real structural damage, or is it like preventing the enchantment from?
The enchantment can come up if you would like to do it.
So the actual physical cart is like a wheels busted or something?
It's a lot more than a wheel busted.
Anybody have mending?
Would you like to enlarge the card and see the structural damage?
Not right now. I don't want to lose my cart.
Cool. What's the plan, Stans?
Narroth is going to start boiling some water so that they can put in their water skins. Narroth is going to basically make everybody can over all their water skins so that he can use them all, so that we can remain both warm and hydrated.
Got it. You do it. Plan after that. We heading out?
oh yeah.
Lilith makes goat stew and we head out.
So where are you heading?
To the ruins.
It's fairly dark at this point. You guys can kind of see the moon, but it's not really illuminating very much as you begin to head out the cave and head towards the direction of the ruin.
Wow.
But with that being said, what would you like to do? You do know you have to follow the road northeast-ish.
So is the brown the road?
Ish, well, it's like the trail.
Okay.
What's the black?
It's a tree. But you're not able to see past it because of your, you don't have dark vision technically.
I
Okay,
do.
so it's like super dark.
Yep.
So I just pull out like a little piece of twig or something that I pick up off the ground and just cast light, so that it gives us a little bit of a light
Well,
source.
Everyone now has a token they can control for the light source. So move it along as you move.
Huh.
Okay, plan, guys. What are we doing?
Let's just continue moving towards the ruins.
Iskrim leads in the best way that he knows.
Yeah, I would say Iskrim and maybe Zarrius out front, Bryn in the back, because you guys have dark vision.
Sounds good to me.
Astor will bring up the rear.
Yeah, Astor and Bryn in the back because they have dark vision. People without dark vision, me and Narroth in the middle, and Zarrius and Iskrim up front.
Got it. Can I take perception checks, please, based on hearing?
I'm rolling more for perception today.
We
Ooh,
begin.
sorry.
Everyone but Bryn will begin to hear the sounds of nightlife beginning to stalk around, and particularly you hear a growl.
Uh-oh.
Large bear or large cat?
Large dog?
Okay.
Hold 1 second. I tell everybody to get within 10 feet of me.
I'm pretty sure everybody is within 10 feet of you.
Okay. And I cast that as we walk. It lasts an hour. The light is gone, though. Or no, is light concentration? No.
I don't know. Sure.
So what it looks like.
No, light
Light-
is not concentration. Yes.
Shimmering barrier extends out from you in a 10-foot radius and moves with you, remaining centered on you and hedging out creatures other than undead and constructs. The barrier's it's gonna suck. The barrier lasts for the duration. The barrier prevents an affected creature from passing or reaching through. An affected creature can cast spells or make weapon attacks with range or reach weapons through the barrier. If you move so that an affected creature is forced to pass through the barrier, the spell ends.
I'm just sort of keeping it as a ward.
How does it look?
It's just like it's got a slight blue tinge to it, and it's just basically like almost like a force barrier. It's got a slight blue tinge to it because everything I do has a slight blue tinge to it.
Narroth is going to turn one of his rings.
Which one?
Flame step. Flame jump. Whatever. Easy fire one.
Cool. Do you guys begin to head forward?
Yeah,
Well, if we're staying in the bubble, we're doing whatever Lilith is doing.
Yeah.
yeah, we're moving ahead.
Well, let's move ahead. Okay. Should have made this map smaller at this rate.
Seriously. Hey,
I'll just do
Oh,
larger
hey, look at
jobs.
that.
Rot-row.
Iskrim. Iskrim. These are not regular wolves. They appear to be kind of ethereal in nature. You know you must be getting close to the ruins because it seems like the spirit of the ancient totems seem to be coming forward as you see a giant dire wolf who appears to be a totem spirit.
I bow to the wolf, and then continue walking.
As you begin to go forward, they growl, and what's the word I'm looking for? As you approach, they begin to
Warning?
growl as a warning. There you go. Thank you.
No worries. So Iskrim will look at them and he will say, "We wish to pass. We seek answers to help the peoples of this place and the peoples of the rest of the world."
As you kind of look around, you realize you are being surrounded. They don't appear to be about to pounce at this moment, but I think it's
It's apparent what they plan to do.
yeah, it seems like I don't want to say combat is initiating, but I'm saying it's on the verge to. Like, they're concerned, they are protecting people who have animal knowledge. It would be Iskrim and maybe even Zarrius. They're protecting their home is kind of the feeling they're getting.
Do we have a plan?
Let's let Iskrim speak a bit more.
Do we really need to go in here?
I'll take any help we can get.
Doesn't seem like we have a choice.
What's the plan?
Iskrim?
Iskrim probably has a great plan. Rachael, on the other hand, is trying to think of what Iskrim would do.
They begin to approach closer.
What about us seems to trigger them? Is it, are we moving with weapons? Is that what does it? Or is it just that we're moving?
It's the goat meat.
They can smell
Dang
it.
it! Bryn!
Yeah, why don't we take a perception check, Iskrim? Yeah, so Iskrim will recognize that where we are standing right now actually should be where the entirety of the ruins is. Iskrim will maybe be able to see beginnings of ruins in the far corner, but a lot of them appear to. It seems like this past storm may have set these buildings underground, or something. Something is weird, where the place you're standing should be surrounded by ruins.
So, we are in the center of the ruins right now, and it appears that the storm has nearly obliterated them by piling up snow.
One more thing to think about is that the snow leopard tribe, one, is made to prevent things like this. This is kind of what they do.
So it would be reasonable to say that the guardians of the place that should have prevented this didn't.
Correct.
Okay. So Iskrim says that. Which means this place seems to be unguarded. And these spirits are, running wild?
Or acting as guards?
That's probably a very good interpretation.
So then if the snow leopard tribe isn't here, then we have no reason to be here. Let's not anger the spirits of this place if we don't have to.
Well, if the snow leopard clan is guarding from these wolves, she takes her gun out.
No, it's less like
That's enough.
that's not how you or at least that's not the impression I got. The impression was that the wolves were like some of the totem spirits of this place, So they belonged here.
The gun was pulled.
Shoot.
Okay, I
Damn
will.
it.
Literally shoot.
I will.
No, wait, don't shoot.
I'm not shooting. Don't worry.
It's okay, I rolled very
Looks like
poorly.
you will be in a minute.
Wow, I rolled well again.
More than a minute.
Everything's set.
Yep.
So, for my interpretation of this rule is,
Yeah, you're gonna
The
mess
only-
with
the
mess
only
with myself
effect,
again.
the only affected creature is you, correct?
What do you? It's a 10-foot radius from myself, so everybody within it is protected as well. They can
But-
reach it, but they can't enter it.
So the shimmering barrier extends out, blah 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 blah. Centered on you and hedging out creatures other than undead and constructs. The barrier lasts for the duration. The barrier prevents an affected creature from passing or reaching through. An affected creature can cast spells or make attacks with range or reach weapons through the barrier if you move. Okay, so everyone's basically prevented from this barrier at this moment from moving out of it.
No, just things are affected or can't move into it. It sounds like.
Right.
You can move
Things
out of
can't
it.
move into it. They can move out of it if they want, but they can't. Things already outside of it can't move in.
Oh wait, no, passing or reaching through. I guess it doesn't really specify which way.
Right, there's your 10-foot aura. It doesn't seem like you guys can leave the barrier. Is kind of my interpretation of it.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Same, which means Iskrim is
We're all stuck in it.
stuck.
Unless if Lilith moves it around us, but then that breaks the barrier.
Right.
Astor, you're up first.
You can attack through it though.
This is true. But my spells can't leave, right? If I
No,
remember
it
correctly.
says you can cast spells or make attacks with ranged or reach weapons. So
Yeah,
you
so
can't do
you can
melee
still
out,
attack.
but you can do ranged spell or ranged weapons and spells through it.
Astor's going to hold his turn for now.
To do what?
He wants to observe the situation, and ideally, and then just hop back in as soon as he sees an opportunity. Do I need to be more specific than that?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Winterwolf, is this one? Yeah, Winterwolf 1 will go in there and attack everyone.
Yay.
Everyone but Zarrius. So he is going to unleash a frost breath.
This is against Khan.
This is against Khan, so that will be against Astor. We will take the first damage, but I'll continue to roll. Bryn, Lilith, Narroth, and then Iskrim.
So it's 36 on all damage, and is that halved if we passed?
Correct.
Okay.
So which
And
one
you
was
said
mine?
it's cold damage.
It is cold damage.
So is that quartered for me?
Did you pass your save?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that will be quartered for you.
Lilith is the third one.
Which one is Narroth, the second to last?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, good.
Yeah, you get the
Narroth is
crit.
going to use absorb elements.
Good choice.
So yeah, that hits.
Cool.
That does not hit me.
Astor
That
would
is
like to
going-
take his turn.
Why don't you let me resolve his turn real quick, and then we'll get to it.
Yes.
Cool. So he forgoes his bite attack to do a frostbite, but he will attack you with 2 claw attacks.
Ooh, dang.
I thought if they breathe, that's their entire action.
Not these winter wolves.
Cool. So how much is this?
Do both hit?
Yeah.
Cool. So I did not input the crit damage into the macro, so I will just roll this real quick. 24 and 15.
39.
Takes us to Zarrius.
Bloodied. Oh, can I take my turn yet?
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
sorry.
Yes, go, Astor.
Fucking gonna kill us.
Cool. Astor's going to draw his short sword and shield. He's going to use a bonus action to activate. I can't think. Oh, Blade Song. And then he's going to attack the wolf twice. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Uh, 21 will hit.
Cool. I'm going to reroll that damage with Savage Attack repeat.
Got it.
Cool. And I'm going to tag on a 4th level Divine Smite as well.
These are undead. Do you get anything for them?
Hold on. I think I do.
These are undead. Okay.
Oh, they're spirits.
I get an extra 1d8.
Cool. Roll.
I'm going to roll that, and I'm going to roll another one for Defensive Flourish as well. My AC goes up by 8 for now.
Got it.
That'll be the end of my turn.
Zarrius.
As a bonus action, Zarrius is going to cast Shillelagh on his staff, giving it a light blue tint all of a sudden, and then it disappears. And then Zarrius is going to cast a Mote of the Sun at the guy that was attacking Astor. I'd like to place it here if possible.
Cool. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
That's a big AC.
So that's against Dex defense.
Yeah, 1 second. So you should have control of the token.
Cool.
Yeah, that should hit the Dex defense. I don't think I need to check that.
Cool. And that will end Zarrius' turn.
Got it. Lilith.
So did I notice that they were able to pass through the barrier?
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. You can see they're clearly undead.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to drop the spear because I know it's not going to help me. And then
Sorry, is that a concentration spell?
it is.
Okay.
So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my sword and light it up. And I'm going to try to turn undead.
Got it. Roll it.
It's a wisdom ability check, correct?
It's your character. I can't answer that.
Let's see here. All right, so the DC is yeah. So I have to do it. It's against their wisdom defense.
Got it.
So I'm gonna try to turn them all.
What's
So-
the radius?
It's a. Hold on, what did it say? "30-foot radius."
Oh, you should be able to get them all.
Okay.
We'll just do it in order of their names. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just roll 4 times.
Okay.
One is turned. Or, sorry, technically number 2 is turned.
Holy shit!
What?
They have a high wisdom defense.
Yeah, 22.
Holy shit! All right. So that was my action. As a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself.
Got it. This will take us to Iskrim. You're no longer prohibited by the barrier.
I'm not? Okay, that changes a lot. So you said wolf number 2 has been turned?
Seems like it.
Excellent. We're gonna see what Entangle does to hang on one second. Yeah, we're gonna see what Entangle does to Winter Wolf 1.
Cool, go ahead and roll against their strength defense. That will not hit their strength defense.
That sucked.
Anything else?
And I'm free to move now because the barrier's gone.
That's correct.
I think I'm going to stay there, actually. I think it's kind of better we're fighting back to back.
Got it. Winter Wolf 2 is turned, so he will use his movement to dash. Take the dash. Got it. Cool. He'll do that. Bryn wanders.
Question for Zarrius.
Answer.
You didn't get a chance to move. Do you want to?
I'm fine without moving.
Okay, you're fine where you're at. That was a question.
I didn't hear you. I just
I
heard.
said, are you? Oh, sorry. You're fine where you're at right now?
Yeah, I'm fine where I'm at.
Okay. In that case, I will shoot Winter Wolf 1 with the rifle.
Got it.
Is that thing adjacent to me, by the way?
You can't flank with it, unfortunately.
No, I just want to know if it's
Oh.
adjacent.
This is adjacent to you, correct?
Okay. I didn't know which spaces it was occupying. Did I hit?
17 hits.
Okay, I am going to add something. I'm going to add one of these.
Okay, go ahead and roll their strength saving throw.
Let's make a straight save throw. Alright. Oh. What do I add to that? Just do another weapon attack? Is that what I'm doing?
It's Dex plus proficiency.
Dex plus proficiency. Okay, give me a sec.
Hey, you're a battle master now. I forgot for a brief moment.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll push him back. I'll say Zarrius can attack his Dex defense as well. With the Motes of the Sun.
Astor, do it.
I'm just rolling it again.
Yeah, is that, will that prompt an attack from me as well or no?
He used your reaction to take a turn, unfortunately.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. That's how that works.
I'm gonna, with my unrelenting flames, re-roll that one that I rolled on the damage dice.
Does the unrelenting flames work on spells? Or is it just weapon attacks? Cool. So, this is for an attack. I'll allow it. Go ahead and roll an extra 1d6.
Okay.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy.
Okay, so then just add 4. Yep.
Cool. Bryn. Western.
Yeah. I'm going to start moving north, and I'm going to ask Lilith if it's safe to go this way.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
The blue sphere is actually, it was blue. I make it blue so that way
I
you
meant
can
the
see
winter
it,
wolf
and
that
then-
ran away.
Oh yeah, you're good to.
Okay. I'm just going to maneuver myself so that I don't get hit, so that we don't all get hit with another frost blast, and shoot winter wolf 2 more times with a 6-shooter.
17 hits. 16 hits.
Low AC.
Yes, you do have 3 shots now, and you only used 2, technically.
Did I only use 2? Oh. 1 more with the lever action. Oh,
That will miss.
Yeah.
This will take us to... That will
As a
jam.
misfire.
technically.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Feeling lucky?
Yeah, let's do it. Better.
Okay. How does that look? Still standing.
How does the feeling lucky look now?
Yeah, we haven't described it since the
Sure.
change.
So the ring that is around her neck is hung kind of low, so it just looks like her chest glows for a second, or glints in the moonlight, I guess it is right now, as the shot fires off.
Got it. This will take us to Narroth.
All right. Narroth is actually going to reach and put a hand on Zarrius and say, well, they're not the only ones who can spew elements from their mouth. Now, Zarrius, concentrate.
Ew.
I need you to do this very carefully. And then he's going to cast this spell, Dragon's Breath, on Zarrius. And with a bonus action, he's going to use Stone Aegis on Astor. Use Dragon Breath.
That's pretty funny and cool.
I'm going to select Poison for you, because that's the element that is best attuned to wood, which is, something that you're probably very attuned to.
Fair.
And
Cool.
you know what? I'm going to use Dragon's... is it too late to use Dragon's Breath as a quickened spell?
You use your bonus action to Stone Aegis.
Yeah, that's true. All right, never mind.
End turn?
End turn.
Cool. This one is going to get up on you 4 and avoid... So I'll be able to get everyone, but Astor in this breath, which is pretty exciting. I will take my first attack on Zarrius with my Frost Breath. Then Iskrim, Narroth, and Lilith. Remember, we'll only take damage once.
Oh, I saved. And I'm
This
gonna-
is con defense. Okay.
Everyone, I think, would have saved.
And I'm going to use my bonus or my reaction to use absorb elements.
Got it.
So it's half damage.
Yes. And then he'll take 2 bite attacks, or 2 claw attacks at you, Zarrius. Which will, unfortunately, this is the turning point where I start to miss everything.
Unfortunately.
Let's get some concentration checks, please.
Sure. So that is 3 concentration checks for me.
Did all 3 hit?
Well, no. So is it only if they hit?
Only if
I
they
thought
hit.
it was if they. Okay. Well, they didn't hit my con defense, and the 2 claw attacks missed.
Cool. Well, you'll still have to roll a concentration for the half damage. So, concentration is based on taking damage. Sorry if that's not clear.
Fair. That's okay. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, okay.
You're fine?
Real quick, Chris. They have to roll against my sanctuary.
No, they don't, because this is against a static defense, not a direct attack against you.
Any let me hold on. Let me here. I'll put the spell up. It's anything. Where the heck did it go?
I'd like to react to Winter Wolf 3 trying to attack me.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah, Sanctuary does say attack or harmful spell.
So this is how I understand the rules. For the spell doesn't protect the warded creature from area effects. This is an area effect. Such as an explosion of a fireball. The warden creature makes an attack or casts a spell, this ends, or this attack ends. So it does specify that this doesn't protect you against area effects. So unfortunately, you will take this damage.
All right, so it's still half damage though.
Correct. I need a concentration from Narroth as well. Concentration checks, please.
I'm going. Sorry. Apparently, I need to click on my character before I can do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're fine.
Haha.
You're also fine.
Yay.
Go ahead and react, Zarrius.
I would like to Hellish Rebuke on the Wolf 3 that just attacked me with the. So, rebuke, please. Against Dex.
That does it.
All right. Do I get to re-roll that one, or with the Unrelenting Flames, or is that a no?
This isn't a monk skill.
That's fair.
But it's called Unrelenting Flame. Go ahead. Real quick. Roll D8. Just do it. Just go.
So 22 total.
Cool. That'll end that's turn. This one will attempt to do the same thing, and I guess he'll also Winter Breath the 4 of you. This will be against con defenses. Lilith first, Narroth, Zarrius, and Iskrim.
What's the range on the Frost Breath?
15-foot cone.
Cool.
So that will miss Lilith.
And hit the rest.
I'll probably actually miss Iskrim too.
Against Con?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Narroth is bloody.
Goes. Oh, and I lose concentration on what is said.
I'm sorry. Concentration checks, please. You're good there.
I'm uber good.
Yep, that's fine. And then he'll take 2 attacks on Astor. And this will take us to Astor's turn once these resolve.
Damn. Well, the crit hits even though it's less than my actual AC. Damn. 17.
That's unfortunate. Those will take us to Astor.
Cool. So I guess this wolf is now within range. Astor's going to circle around and flank with Lilith, and he's going to attack the winter wolf twice. Cool. He'll tag on a 4th level Divine Smite. Plus 1 more D8 because I'm dead.
Okay, maths for me. 12, 7, 29, 36.
37. And then he's going to do the same thing one more time. And at a 3rd level Divine Smite on this one.
Okay, double the smites. Oh, I forgot. I don't do that. 34, 37, 47. Ugh, just calculator. Fuck this.
Sorry.
That's 70 damage there. That will bloody it.
Good start. And then, hold on, let me double check one last thing before I say I'm going to do it. And then he's going to cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action on himself.
Cool.
After that, it will be the end of his turn.
He will not recharge, but he will get the flank on Astor. He'll actually move here. He does have pack tactics, so he will have advantage on these.
Oof.
Does this hit?
No. None of them do.
23?
Oh, no, does not hit.
Got it. This will take us to Zarrius.
Okay, so I will move away and take an attack of opportunity if the winter wolf does choose so. That will miss. I think he's going to...
That's a new kind of damage. Peering damage?
Oh, like you never misspelled something.
It's a really intense
It'd be a hard
gaze.
time.
And as a action, I will cast Dragon's Breath that Narroth gave me. I will move closer as I want to get both.
You'll probably also get Astor,
It's a cone. You can get them from where you are.
but you'll also probably get Astor.
It depends how you angle it.
Yeah, can I angle it like this?
So technically a cone is the same distance, or the width is the same as the distance away from you. So figure it out.
I can do that, can't I? It's 15 feet.
Yeah.
If you
can
stand,
occupy the same space as the wolf, so you need to stand here, and you'll be able to get both.
without getting Astor.
Without
Actually,
getting-
he's a small creature, and they're large creatures.
Yeah, but if he
there
stands
is a
here, he can get
specific-
both without getting Astor.
and there is a specific skill that allows you to move between things. It's the halfling, it's nimble something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He does not have that.
So if you hit this space, and then these 2 spaces, and then these 3 spaces, you will hit both of the wolves.
Okay. That's what I'll do. And I will. What attack would I use for that? Just
You touch one willing creature. Each creature.
a dex attack.
So this is a dex attack with Narroth's bonuses, it seems. What's your bonus, Narroth?
Plus 7. 8? Let me check.
It's your charisma plus your proficiency bonus.
Plus 8.
Roll a d20 plus 8 twice, please. That will hit.
And that will not.
That will take half.
And I will roll the 3d6 now.
And how does that look? I'm curious.
So
It's poison, remember?
it's poison, I know. So
And ties into
so what? How this will look is that all of a sudden Zarrius' staff turns the blue that he has, and there seems to be a greenish-looking poison at the tip of his staff, and Zarrius angles it in front of him, and then lets out this huge breath of air. And blows the poison off the end, splashing it in the area of the cone.
Cool. Roll damage.
2 separate or just one?
Just one.
Is that a re-roll as well?
I'm going to say no, because this
Okay.
is Narroth's skills,
No,
not yours.
skills. Fair enough.
But this will dispose of this one. Hey.
So did that winter wolf move technically, or because he was like down here?
Good.
I would. So that was my action, and then bonus action. I'd like to take an unarmed strike.
You do not take an attack action, so you cannot make
Right.
an unarmed strike.
Well, then I will throw my whip in the general direction of Winter Wolf 4.
That you can do.
That I can do.
That will not do it.
That will not do it. Dang it.
Go
And
with.
that ends my turn.
Okay, so is Bryn within 60 feet? Yeah, hell yeah. All right, so actually, are you within 30 feet of me?
Give me a sec. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so everybody gets this. I'm going to cast this.
Oh, thank God.
No, I didn't really need it, but thanks.
Some people did.
And then, so let's see. So does this count as healing myself, Chris, so I don't get my protection domain thing?
That's correct.
Okay. I mean, I get 27 I was just trying to get extra. As my that doesn't dispel my sanctuary because I didn't attack anybody. So as a bonus, this is just going to be a first level spell. I'm going to cast this on Astor.
Not bloodied anymore.
Good. Anything else?
Hey.
And that I do get my thing from.
Sure.
Alrighty. And then as I'm still flanking with Astor, so I don't want to move. Okay.
Takes us to Iskrim.
Takes to me. Okay, so I'm just basically going to go for, I believe it's Wolf 3 next to me, and I'm going to go ahead and attack it with my axe.
What?
That's it. That's all he's going to do.
Yeah, 2 attacks.
Thought that was only when I was raging.
Shouldn't be.
Nope, extra attack is not rage specific.
Oh, well then. I take it.
So.
That doesn't hit, yeah, okay. Cool.
This guy is being turned. Bryn wanders.
Lilith, do you want to move?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm flanking with Astor right now.
I mean, Astor can move and flank with Zarrius.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why I didn't move.
So do you want to move or not?
Sure.
Okay. I have to hit them first. Lever action on Wolf 4. Oh.
Wow. I think that hits.
Yeah.
Before,
And then adding this. Nice. You can move half your movement without taking an opportunity attack, Lilith.
that's irrelevant, but
Oh.
you can still do it.
Oh, well, I'm going to save it if I don't.
Technically, you have to declare the blah 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 the thing before you roll damage. So
Truth.
So unfortunately, it is expended.
That's fine.
So I will use it.
Yeah, use it
And
anyways. You can move.
Yeah, so I will move. I'll move there.
There.
Alright, I got more attacks coming.
Do it.
One more lever action on the only one left. And then 2 more with the pistol. Yes.
They all hit.
Yes.
Not the best damage, but you know.
But
that's what you get.
it's consistent damage.
Anything else?
I'll take it. I'm going to move.
One square.
There.
Got it. Bryn wanders. Narroth.
Huh, okay. You killed them. Alright, Narroth is going to look to Zarrius after he used his, poison moved and knocked out a wolf, and nod, kind of giving a broad smile, and looks over to the Winter Wolf. He is going to quicken spell a fire bolt, and then breathe fire on him via his racial ability.
Do it.
You don't have to quicken the firebolt if you want to breathe as your racial ability, because that's a bonus action.
Are you sure?
The The Rachael's a bonus action?
I do not
Yeah.
think so. I will look this up.
Dragonborn breath weapon. Dragonborn breath weapon is a racial ability.
You can
It-
use your action to exhale destructive energy. Your draconic ancestry. It's an action. Long story short.
Okay, thought so.
Oh, I thought it was a bonus action.
And this firebolt will miss.
Gosh darn it.
But fire breath is based off your con, so it's your con plus proficiency for this roll.
Mhm.
14 against Dex defense is going to miss, but you think you do have damage. Or half as much in a successful save, so go ahead and roll your 46. Cool, this will bloody it though.
Cool. Narroth is going to use his movement action to not be right in front of the Winter Wolf. He's going to wait till Captain America arrives.
Got it. That's fair. He will recover his breath weapon. It's not gonna like the fire. I feel like he's gonna. We'll just unleash on Eastgrim. Eastgrim can take it. This is against Eastgrim. Which probably doesn't hit Eastgrim's con defense, so he'll take half of 35, and then we'll get 2 claw attack.
Okay. Half or quarter because I have resistance.
So half.
Okay. And the claws were against me as well?
That's correct.
Okay, and those were against my AC.
AC.
Alright, they both hit.
Cool. That will end his turn, Astor.
So, when these wolves get beaten, do they disappear or do they actually fall on the ground?
They don't appear to disappear. They also don't appear to fall on the ground. They take kind of this sitting posture, as if they are kind of like statues. If that makes sense.
Okay. The reason I was asking is I was wondering if I could kind of go through there without it being difficult terrain.
I would say no. I would say you couldn't go through their period.
You couldn't, okay. I will move this way. Actually, hold on.
Everyone accidentally pings right before they're about to move. I see it for everybody.
It's because we're holding down the mouse and pressing the space bar.
Yep, exactly.
Can I inhabit that space?
No. Yes.
I can.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is this considered flanking with Iskrim?
Correct.
Cool. I will attack twice. Hold on. Cool. Let's do a second level Divine Smite. +1 because I'm dead. And then attack a second time.
Technically, Chris, the light spell is gone.
Why?
And I'll leave that as a normal attack.
Why is the light spell gone?
Concentration.
It's not concentration. We checked at the beginning of the
Yeah,
fight.
it's not a concentration spell.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So we'll do
That
that.
will kill it, actually.
Oh. Okay.
Well, we'll use killing it loosely, but so they begin to sit down as Astor takes his final swing, and they just sort of do nothing. They kind of look. There is just this look of wisdom, but almost like darkness as you finish the final blow. As you hear 3 here and one a distance away begin to howl, and we will fade to black.
All right, that's going to be it for our regular session here for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for this session. We hope you had a great time. We are going to do our post-show in just a few minutes, so stay on our page here. Go ahead and give it a refresh, and we'll do our chapter wrap-up for the last chapter. If you're just joining us for the first time, you can find all of our previous episodes in the link down below. You'll see our YouTube link down there. You can also join us here every Monday at 9 p.m. We will also do a rebroadcast on Wednesdays, so that if you miss anything, you can catch up then. Thank you so much for joining us once again, and have a wonderful night.